Hi, I'm Maria. I'm known as VeloSews on social media. This is my sewing studio, so welcome to VeloSews Studio. Today it's all about hashtag SewAprilBlouse26. So this Instagram sewing challenge, as well as video, is run by Gabrielle of @cloth_edit, as well as Tamlin, who is @sewn on the tine, which is underscore between all of those words. Because Instagram's hashtag search is really not working anymore, make sure that if you enter your blouse or your shirt, that you post a picture of what you've sewn. On the photo, tag @cloth_edit as well as @sewn on the tine with underscores in between all the words, so that Gabrielle and Tamlin can review your blouse or shirt, and also add the country that you live in, because they have so many sponsors that what they'll do is, as they pick the winners, they'll allocate you to the prize that is available in your country. So that's really exciting, and I hope you enter into hashtag SewAprilBlouse26. So today I'm going to cover the two blouses or the two shirts that I've sewn, and then I'll put up another video once I finish the third shirt that I drafted. What you'll notice in all of the entries that I've done is this two-part collar. So this is a designer stitch shirt. I love sewing two-part collars. It's one of those things that gives me a lot of joy when I actually finish it off. And when you're sewing shirts, you can actually do either just the sleeves for part of the production or the collar. And what I do is, when I finish the collar, before I sew it on, I'll actually put it on the dressmaker dummy around the neckline as motivation. So let's have a look at blouse number one. As you can see behind me is blouse number one. It's using a textured viscose, and it was the prize that I won last year as one of the prizes for hashtag SewAprilBlouse25. It's my dress made print, and it's a textured viscose. It's got beautiful colors. The fabric was made in France, and the pattern that I used is Butterick 4985. So this particular pattern was printed in 2007. I actually made it in 2008 using a Georgette fabric. Now, the fabrics suggested are lightweight, such as Georgette, lightweight crepe, lightweight satin, so lightweight fabrics. So it's kind of like a blouse shirt, and it's got a few different sleeves, and I like view B because it's got the puff sleeve with a band. And I've also used clear buttons on this particular shirt because I couldn't really figure out, did I want to use a particular color? Did I want to use black as a button, or did I just want to use a clear button? So I chose on this occasion a clear button. This blouse has got either a necktie option or it's got the two-part collar. And yeah, I chose the two-part collar. Now, because I made this pattern, Butterick 4985, in 2008, I needed to make sure that it would fit my body today, because it's different to the body that I had in 2008. And that's, what, 18 years ago now. I did toile it, and this is what the pattern pieces now look like for April 2026, which is what I've written on this fabric. It's the back lower side and the pattern number, which is B4985. Now, I keep all of these together so that when I decide to make it again, and I probably will, but not right now, I can at least test it to make sure that it fits me around the waist that I have now, as opposed to in 2008. So as you can see, I can wear it with any of the white trousers or white jeans that I've sewn. While this fabric has got a print, it's on an off-white colour basis, so I can pair it quite easily with white jeans or trousers. So I'm really pleased that I got to make this shirt. So now let's have a look at blouse number two. So blouse number two, as you can see, is the fabric that I bought from Miss Maude in New Zealand, and it's got an embroidered surface. So the embroidery is a lime or a neo yellow or a lime green, and it's a floral on a pinstripe base. Now, I really love the blouse that was worn on Instagram, and that's why I ended up buying the fabric. And again, this fabric has got a textured feel to it, so that's why I gave it a wash to see if it was colour fast, and it is. And when it came to doing the two-part collar, I decided to choose white on the collar band and leave the collar itself in the fabric of the shirt. Now, I've seen that used in men's shirts, so I thought, why not try it? Because what it does, it brings your eye up to your face. And the other thing I've done is I've placed the center front where the button band is on as close to the selvage as possible, so that, as you can see on the buttonholes, there's not much embroidery there, so that you can see the lines going up and down the body. And I've chosen white buttons so that, again, you know, there's that horizontal line. And I really like how this shirt is at my ideal shirt hem length. This is all my block pattern. So in February, when I attended, I didn't run it, it was a pattern making class. So I've now got my bodice block that I can use, and that's what I base this shirt on. So it's not a commercial pattern, and if you find one, I think it'd be a really good one to have a go at. This shirt that I'm wearing has got a placket on the sleeve button, and so I've done the same. I've actually taken the pattern piece as my template for this shirt here, and I've now gotten used to doing a sleeve placket, and this was kind of like my sewing skills stretch goal, was to try and do some sleeve plackets as part of hashtag SewAprilBlouse26. And again, I've used the white that I've got on the collar band. Again, used white, just basic white buttons. So I'll just run you through, if you're interested, a couple of things that I use for shirt making. I tend to grab replacement white buttons when I can, when they're at a $2 shop or Daiso. I prefer a 2-hole button rather than a 4-hole button, but beggars can't be choosers, right? So this bag's got the 4-hole button replacement white buttons, and they're in a couple of different sizes, so I can use them for different shirt or blouse size, blouse types. What I use as my marking are things like a 3B pencil. Now 3B is a softer lead pencil, and because, you know, these fabrics that I've been using are multicolored, sometimes using a lead pencil, a soft lead pencil like this, is really useful for doing the markings in the seam allowance, not on the actual fabric, but it washes out quite easily. The other two things I use are, this is kind of like a white marker, but I think it's a base, like a soap base, and I've got a packet of them from AliExpress, and they're really handy when you can use a white contrast. The other one I've got is the classic markers that were out when I was first sewing, and I think this one came from someone's stash, and I've been using that one recently as well. What I don't use for collars and collar points is I don't use wooden pieces like this. I just think that it's too easy to make a hole in the corner. What I do is I will fold both of the seam allowances into a square, and if I really need to, I'll actually just push them on either side to make sure that that I can get as good a point as I can. So they're the 2 blouses that I have finished. So I'll give you a sneak peek at the 3rd blouse, which I drafted in February. Production wise, when I sew a shirt, I love to sew the 2-part collar first. Then I get really involved in sewing the sleeve as a production piece. So here's the sleeve of number 3 that I'm working on, And my sort of stretch skill again is the placket. So this time I've made it 2 centimeters wider than the sleeve cuffs that I've used, so that I can put 2 buttons there, and so that when I roll up the sleeve it could look quite interesting. Now the reason I can't show it to you is because it's not finished, and it's also a design that I saw in ready to wear, and I've done a few adjustments because I want it to fit me, both my width and my height. So that'll be the next video. So I hope that you've enjoyed looking at the 2 shirts that I've made so far. Hashtag SewAprilBlouse26. Make sure that when you put your post up, so just a photo rather than a reel for Gabrielle and Tamlin to have a look at and to judge against all the other entries, note which country you're in so that they can allot you one of the prizes, because they have so many and they want to make sure that you can get a prize in the country that you're in easily. Make sure on your photo you tag at sewn on the time with underscores between each of the words for Tamlin to see you and to judge. Also make sure that you tag at cloth_edit for Gabrielle to find you. And if you're interested, make sure you also tag at share sew over 50. So it's at share sew over 50, because that's where you'll find the rest of the Sew Over 50 community sharing their makes. So thank you for joining me in VeloSews Studio. My name is Maria. I'm known as VeloSews on social media, and I hope to see you in the second video that I'm going to do for hashtag SewAprilBlouse26 with blouse number 3 finished. Cheers. Bye.